welcome to my tomb, Matthew Kershaw. Are you ready to raid it?
Thank you for saying that and not the other one.
I know. I was right up till the last second. I didn't know which way I was going to go.
Neither did I. I was like, okay, I'm ready to just hit. So stop recording, go back.
It was kind of like, you know when your lips are just already smiling and like you don't know quite what sound will come out. It was that kind of situation.
Yeah. So why are we raiding these tombs? It doesn't look like a tomb.
Why are we raiding these tombs like a month after the rest of the world?
Yep.
The real question. So, bit of context. We were speaking. I don't know why, but we were talking about Tomb Raider, weren't we, a couple of weeks ago?
Were we?
Yeah, and I mentioned that I have like 5 copies of the original game and never played any.
Oh, yeah.
Never played past the not really rape scene. I only ever got up to there, realized how shit that was, and then stopped playing.
Yeah.
So I went back. I finished that game in an afternoon. Really good game. And then so I then kind of realized that I just had to play this game before Game of the Year, because had the original 2013 Tomb Raider came out, it would have easily been one of my favorite games of the year, if not the game of the year.
Really?
Because that game's fucking excellent, yeah. And this game, so much better. But it borrows a lot from that 2013 game, you know, gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's one spoiler here, I think, that I've cut out. It's on this audio log here, so you'll see the screen fade. And I cut out the one sort of plot twist that happens. But yeah, this is a Russian base somewhere in Siberia.
Of course you're in Siberia and you're fighting Russians.
Yeah, it starts off. You know, we've seen the beginning of the game in E3. You know, where they're like scaling the ice with Jonah, the big dude.
Oh yeah.
He's from the 2013 game. And so, like in the middle, that's kind of cut in with a few flashbacks. And at one point, she was in Syria, and like I have 2 complaints with the game. One is that it disables auto aiming when you're on normal or above. Which seems like, you know, of course it makes it harder. That should be a good thing if you're going for a harder difficulty. But it fucking makes aiming really awkward and not particularly nice. So that's kind of shitty. Like, I feel like you could just make the game harder and allow me to shoot properly. Because, like, you know, shooting blind with an assisted analog stick is not particularly fun.
Yeah, that's why all console games have assisted aiming.
Yeah, and you can't just enable assisted aiming and keep it at normal. And I try to review every game I play on normal, you know, for a bit of consistency. So it was kind of like a shitty situation. But that, and then the second issue I have, which is that even when speaking to natives, like the Syrian native who drives you to this ruin or whatever, they speak perfect English, which is ridiculous. Because this game's all about language and culture, you know, from a historical and geographic perspective. And yeah, everyone speaks perfect English, unaccented as well. They don't even try to fake it. It's really bad.
Is it not like the awful Ubisoft thing where they're like, hey, you're in Chicago, Illinois, everyone has Canadian accents?
No, well, yeah, it is kind of funny. They all speak English or like no accent at all. They just speak English with like, I guess it's American. I don't know where the studio's based.
Yeah.
But it's a small complaint, but it's like one of 2 things that annoy me about this game. So yeah, we're just going to investigate this tomb.
This isn't a tomb, this is a mine.
Yeah, well, the tombs are really varied. This is a uranium mine, a Soviet uranium mine. And yeah, the tombs are fun. They're not super long. Only maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long it takes you to work the puzzle out. But they're fun. They're rewarding. Good.
Is the game like any sort of free roaming?
Yeah, it's pseudo open world. Like you can fast travel to whatever campfire you have anywhere. And, you know, there'll be, like, puzzles that you can only solve after getting certain gadgets, you know, kind of like Castlevania situation. Yeah. That was the same as the 2013 game, only this game has more open areas. Like, actual proper open world spaces with, like, side quests and stuff.
Yeah, what is this, like, Eagle Vision you keep activating?
So that, like, outlines points of interest, obviously, like Eagle Vision, like this fucking glowing treasure we're gonna go and steal. And also, like, handholds and things you can interact with, which is handy, because in the forest, obviously, it's super dense. Because this game looks fucking great. Yeah, it's kind of like Batman Detective Vision, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, doesn't this game look fantastic?
I don't know, we're just in water, that's about
Look at that light, though. I mean, yeah, I guess this, you know, being inside is probably not the most impressive. But, you know, check out my review for the screenshots. That game is one of the best looking. Of this generation. I haven't decided which. I mean, I guess that's going to be a Game of the Year discussion.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to them.
But yeah, this game looks really good, and she's got the Tres Effects hair, but with more
yeah, I
hair
noticed
than
that.
before.
Yep.
Which is cool. Gonna burn a hole in these ruins, you know. As you
I was wondering how. I was about to ask how the hell did fire just knock down all those rocks?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We knocked down the cloth thing that was hanging in front of it, which caused a massive explosion. Yeah, but not a cave-in yet.
Yet, of course, this is Tomb Raider, so everywhere you visit will be like, before you get there, it'll be perfectly like, you know, restored in time. You know, nothing will happen. The second you get there, the whole place just falls to shit and everything just decays around you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so much. It's exactly that though. It's like she's the worst Tomb Raider. You collect Byzantine coins. This like traitor merc for guns and stuff. So this woman's like selling the only artifacts she collects and then blowing everything else up as she goes. It's the fucking dumbest.
Yeah, Byzantium. That reminds me of something. I can't remember
Assassin's
what.
Creed Revelations.
Yes, there you go.
So this is what makes this game so interesting from like a historical perspective, and why I think it does history better than like Assassin's Creed. Is you're moving through basically these Siberia and that kind of area and stuff, but there's like audio logs, but from like maybe 4 or 6, like loads of these different perspectives, but they're kind of like individual stories. So you know when you're going around the Russian base, and there's a few different Russian areas, you'll get like dispatches off the Russian commander, discovering the sort of like legends, you know, the sort of mythological side, because that's what these games are about.
Yeah.
And it's all about like how the thing you're chasing affected these different groups of people hundreds of years apart. So like dating back to like Jesus Christ era or whatever, to like the Byzantine Knights and stuff. It's super interesting.
That's cool. When you were talking about like logs, I was just thinking like it'd be like, oh, Dmitry Volkov, he's got a log here about the vodka shipments, because that's all that Russian logs have in video games.
These are good. These are like actually worth listening to. There's one which is like about a mercenary who. So like you're basically. Have you ever seen the Da Vinci Code?
No.
Have you ever seen any? Well, any of Dan Brown's work is basically like religious nut jobs, trying to like uncover some history to like take over the Vatican or whatever. Like super crazy. Like we're gonna stab ourselves in the wrists and pretend we're like a messenger from God kind of thing. And this game is basically that, but the people have like mercenaries who are just contractors working for them. So one of the audio logs is this mercenary realizing how fucking crazy these people are he works for. It's pretty good stuff.
Someone was hiding mining tools.
Because they are kind of
we can no longer wait for
they are kind of crazy.
outside.
Makeshift weapons.
I imagine so, yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because well, you know about you. I don't think you played the original Tomb Raider, did you?
No.
No, well, like, that game is all about, like, Lara trying to survive on this island and getting the shit kicked out of her. Basically, it's kind of brutal in places. This game has a little of that at the beginning, but it's so much more about, like, her just being badass, I guess. It's really quite good. She's not like a... She is a psychopath when you think about how many people she murders. Like, it's kind of bad. You're just gunning down, like, dozens of mercenaries in certain parts of this game. But like,
well, that's what the original games were like, weren't they? Except they had like fucking Egyptian monsters and shit that you had to kill. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I shot at dinosaurs on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it really doesn't address the part where you're murdering loads of people, which maybe disappoints some people. I know that was a problem with the 2013 game, but it's just like so much more empowering, I guess. It's really quite.
Oh, don't talk about empowering and women in video games, please.
Yeah, I know half of the potential audience of this video will just rebel.
Yep.
Or whatever. It's really, really quite good. Like, you can tell by the fact that she's actually wearing more than a tank top right now. It's basically the direction this game's going. And it's a really good direction. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, people complained about the first re-release of the Tomb Raider series, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that game was... I mean, the rape scene didn't help. But, like, that on itself was probably an okay scene had the developers not been out talking about how they want to make her, like, cute so you feel sorry for her all the time. Like, the way they handled the marketing of that game was not fantastic. But I liked it.
Yeah, that was really dumb.
I think this game is only good if you've... No, that's not true. I think this game is better if you have the knowledge of what the 2013 game was. Because then you can see how, like, they actually change her as a character. She develops more than most video game characters ever do.
Yeah.
But in, like, an organic way, in, like, no, this is how she was. And how she was, reacting to these situations and sort of running through history. She was trying to survive to now, where she's like just like, there's no challenge here, you know? You know she's going to win, and that's actually a really good feeling. As opposed to constantly fearing like rapey men in beardy outfits.
Well, that's every game, isn't it? You know the main character is going to win.
Maybe, but like, she got fucked up in so many ways in the 2013 game. Like, she would just be, you know, every other scene was her getting punched, her weapons taken away and beaten, or like sliding off a pole to get her throat impaled, or whatever it was.
Oh god, I remember that scene, yeah.
But like, some of them were death scenes, so like, no, you're abseiling bad, so you're gonna hit this pole and just get skewered by a tree branch. And then others were, no, in the story, this woman's gonna like, she got strung up and like fell from the ceiling so many times. Each time she would land on a different stake or something.
Yeah.
And you couldn't do anything about that. It was just like it was a really kind of brutal game. But this game's way more about like, it's more about her escape, let's say, and her badassness as she does it. It's pretty good. It's certainly fun to watch. But she's not
I was wondering
like,
what you were trying to do there, then I realised I worked out the puzzle.
yeah, like this is the fun part about the puzzle, because they're not super difficult. It's like a two-stage thing. It's just, you know, how fast you recognize it. I think if they were more advanced, they might be frustrating, and that wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
But they're generally pretty short, and you know, interact with these 5 things in a certain order. There's not a lot of execution so much as just working it out, which is fun to work out. But yeah, like I played a lot of this kind of thing on the PlayStation 2, seeing like the God of War games, the Prince of Persia, sort of like action platformers with a hint of bit of puzzling every now and again. But I kind of played them with my granddad, and I didn't like them at the time. It was kind of like I was only there to like do the quick time events and beat the bosses sort of thing, because my reactions were better. But I never really enjoyed them. But going back to this game, because it does feel so different when you're playing it than the 2013 game, I just had like this really strong nostalgia for like PlayStation 2 times with my granddad. It was super weird.
Yeah.
But fun though. I didn't think I'd get that from a game because I don't remember ever liking these games as a kid.
I don't think I ever played a Tomb Raider game when I was a kid.
It was more I was watching them and then just, you know, stepping in to shoot the dinosaur in the head really quickly.
Yeah. I think I maybe played 1.
Yeah.
I remember diving into water, that's about all I remember.
Yeah, like, that's another thing. This game has so much of those, like, cool caves where you're, like, gonna submerge, and that sounds like a really basic thing, but this game captures them so much better. Of, like, you know, just, like, gliding through blue water, coming up in this cave. You
Yeah.
have to run before your oxygen runs out. Like, simple things, but, you know, it's sort of like... It's weird that they affect me how they did, I guess. It's cool. I'm trying to work out how I fix this, and I don't think I can.
it seems cool.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is, like, if you really didn't like the gameplay of the 2013 one, then this game has a lot of that. It adds some cool things, like she can now sort of whip herself across different... there's, like, 2 ways she can attach herself to things and fly, as opposed to, like, just jumping, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So now she's going more Indiana Jones, I guess.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's good. I mean, he's not coming back anytime soon. Having just seen the new Star Wars, Harrison Ford can barely run, so... Yeah, so I'm just going to burn down this thing and jump across, I think. So yeah, this was the uranium mine, which is... they're all really unique, the tombs. It's pretty cool. I think the first one is in Syria. It's like an underground ancient cistern, and that's like so old Tomb Raider, it hurts. But it's really good, because it's a massive water puzzle, so you're like touring around this area, trying to find how to raise the water level so you can reach your objective. Which is like just classic Tomb Raider sort of puzzle. I don't think I deflected light, which is the other kind of Tomb Raider puzzle.
What? Deflected lights?
Yeah, there was always those puzzles about, like, you know, line these 5 crystals up to deflect light to power a door or something. It's like a super common type of puzzle.
It's an ancient codex.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But yeah, when you get to the end, you unlock these codexes which you learn, like, life skills. So that one was Bright Eyes. One's like
You earn life skills.
Basically.
You go down into this like random tomb in the middle of Siberia, and then you come up and you're like interviewing like expertise. Volume 4.
Basically, one of them's like, oh, here's a codex on ancient Byzantine archery. Now I can fire 2 arrows at once. It's
that's less interesting.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's Tomb Raider. Really good game. Check out my review, GameDropZone.com.
Ciao.